Hey there, how's it going? My name is Keegan Kirk. I do tarot readings here on YouTube. If you are new here, it's nice to meet you. If you're returning, thank you for coming back. I hope that you get lots of guidance and insight from whatever comes out in the reading today. I do want to talk to you guys just really quickly about a couple of things. It's not going to take long. Please don't skip ahead. There's not going to be a mid-roll ad, so please just bear with me as I talk to you about this. It'll mean a lot to me if you don't skip ahead. First thing I want to talk to you guys about are personal readings for February. I'm still offering special prices for my recorded readings. So that's 30 minutes for $45, 60 minutes for $75. You send me your questions in advance. I record your reading and I send it to you. I'm also starting something brand new. I've never offered this before. For the entire time that I've been on YouTube, it's probably the most requested thing from people. And I've not done it until now. But starting in February, I'm going to do live one-on-one sessions, which means you will have a specific day and time that you and I connect one-on-one live. You can ask me whatever you want. I'll pull cards. We can talk about things. If you want me to look more deeply into something, if you want me to change directions, if you have specific things that come through that you want me to explore, you'll have full control over that session. That'll be a 60-minute session with me. It's priced at $150. If you are interested in doing a reading with me, all you have to do is send an email to keaghantarot@gmail.com to book that reading. And I look forward to hearing from those of you who want to do personal readings with me in February. I'm super excited to see who takes advantage of the live sessions because I know lots of you have asked me to do those. For the February general reading spread, I'm going to be taking a look at areas where you might need to deal with some blocks. So we're going to take a look at the most urgent need, then we'll look at spiritual, emotional, and mental blocks, and then we'll take a look at any unseen factors that you might not even be aware of. So that's for the general reading, the one that you're watching now. Now I will be doing an extended reading for channel members, and in that reading, I'm actually just going to use oracle cards and a few tarot decks to get messages through from your spirit guides, your ancestors, and your higher self pertaining to the blocks and the information that comes out in the general reading. Now, I've had lots of people ask me how to become a channel member because YouTube makes it a little bit complicated. So I just want to walk you guys through that really quickly. So if you go to YouTube and you search for my channel, if you click on a PC on my channel, the easiest way to join is to click that join button. It's going to bring up this that you see. You can click join. It takes you through the entire process. It's much more complicated to do on your phone. Now, I will put a link in the description box below that will also allow you to take a look, to click through, to try on your phone. But I'm just telling you, it's so much easier if you can do it from a web browser or use a browser on your phone to sign up. Thank you so much for bearing with me as I walked you through those things. We are going to go ahead and go right into the general reading now. I've put up a reminder here for you so you can just have a reminder of what the spread is. I will walk you through that as we explore the cards. Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your general reading. I have to point something out to you guys. So as you can see, each of the 5 areas where I'm taking a look at things, I use different decks, and that's why I'm not doing shuffling and everything on camera, because I really took my time to shuffle through, pick cards out, decide, like I took time laying this out. So it would have been like 20-25 minutes of me shuffling just to get you to this point. So that's why that's not included. But I have to point something out to you, okay? The Emperor reversed. The Emperor reversed. The Emperor reversed from 3 separate decks, showing up in both the spiritual, emotional, and mental block areas. Most urgent need, spiritual blocks, and mental blocks. The other thing that I thought was interesting is the Wheel of Fortune came out twice from 2 separate decks. So I have to ask you, first of all, who is this Emperor reversed? Let's just talk about the energy of the Emperor when it's reversed, okay? So when the energy of the Emperor comes out in its reversal, it's really kind of chaotic. It's someone who is very cocky, someone who's very demanding without, putting in the effort themselves. It's energy of someone who might have anger issues, but it's someone with a huge ego. The other side to the Emperor reverse that I'm picking up here is this is someone who they shun responsibility. They don't want anything that's going to feel like a weight on them, even if it's something that isn't asking too much of them. They are someone who they want to have control. They want to the control is what's coming through more so than anything else to me, is they want to be fully in control, and anything that challenges their perception of them being in control just sends them into like a rage. And it doesn't feel like Like, it doesn't feel like a little fight or a little, you know, attitude. It's rage. I'm feeling so much anger from this person. So this reading is only going to resonate probably for you as an Aquarius if you understand who I'm talking about, because it's 3 appearances. So this person, this energy is going to be at the center of this entire reading. So I just want to say that up front, so as to not waste anyone's time if that doesn't resonate with you. Now, I will say this. If that doesn't make sense to you in terms of it being another person, if you're dealing with realizing this about yourself, if this is something that's coming through internally, you still might want to listen to this reading, because again, I'm focusing on things that are blocks. And so sometimes what can happen with readings, if you're really forcing to take a look at blocks that are getting people's way, it could be about needing to, you know, accept something about yourself, deal with a certain side of yourself, deal with an aspect of yourself that you're avoiding. This could be a reading that's based on shadow work, and we'll see what comes out through it. But I just wanted to toss that energy out there for the Emperor reversed before doing anything else, just because from 3 separate decks, it came out 3 separate times, and every single one of them is reversed. Right? So I have to acknowledge that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the reading, though. I want to talk to you about the center column here, which is really representative of what's the most urgent thing for you to deal with, right? Well, there's the Emperor reversed. We have the Ace of Pentacles, which is reversed, and then the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Now, these are kind of glossy cards, so I'm hoping the light doesn't reflect on them too much. Hopefully you can see these. This Wheel of Fortune, to me, it's interesting what's coming through, because the Wheel of Fortune can represent being in a space where we're just having like a run of bad luck. It's just it's a negative period of our life where things aren't necessarily going how we want them to be. And I think maybe there's a component of that there for you. But what I think is most important in terms of an urgent need is for you realizing that, for you to realize that this is something that repeats. This is something that you've seen before. This is something where you find yourself often. And I think what's coming through here is that the best way for you to break out of this, and it almost feels like it's a cycle of this type of person coming into your life, of allowing this sort of person into your life. And I think that it's shown up in many different ways. There's probably been at least, you know, one other, if this was a romantic connection, there's been at least one other romantic connection that was similar to this person. If not, there was a family member or a friendship. But if you really take a step back from what, you know, the initial thing was, right? Whether it was I mean, I have to say, we have the Ace of Cups here. We have the 10 of Cups reversed as well. 5 of Cups, you know, just in terms of looking around at what we have, this feels like it would have been a romantic relationship. What I'm talking about with this Emperor. You were in a romantic relationship with this Emperor reversed. More than likely, that's what I'm going to say. If you can take a step out of just that interaction with that particular person, and just think about the things that didn't sit right with you, the things that bothered you, the things that hurt you, the things that freaked you out and scared you, whatever it was in that relationship. And you pull those things out, separating them from the person and that particular relationship. If you think about other people that you've had in your life over the course of your life, you'll see patterns, you'll see cycles, you'll realize, oh wait, that friend who did that, or that family member who treated me this way, that's the same sort of thing that this person did. And once you start connecting those dots, then you realize that this is something that is, it's more than just like a run of bad luck. This is something you're actually trying to heal here. Okay, the Wheel of Fortune, once reversed, can talk about life cycles that we're repeating, areas where we don't have the control over something that we need to have, and therefore our life is starting to feel a little bit out of control. It can also represent things like karmic debt that we're coming into clear, that we need to deal with. This was not just solely a missed opportunity with someone. This was designed in a way to help you close out energy that no longer serves you, to learn lessons that you need to learn about yourself, about other people, about relationships and connections. But specifically what's coming through here is there's a tendency on your part to be drawn to people who you know are going to kind of challenge your own sense of freedom. Or what is this energy? So this feels like, okay, so this does not seem logical to me, but I'm going to say it as I'm sensing it, okay? it's like you have a fear of fully owning yourself, fully taking responsibility for yourself. And there's no judgment in that, okay? I don't want you to, like, don't get defensive about that. But it's like there's something that makes you hesitate or falter when you have to step into your own and realize that you have full control over your life. Full control. The things that you focus on, the energy that you're connecting to, all of that leads to you having a very specific experience of the world. Your reality is shaped on what you are putting out there energetically, okay? You have an awareness of that fact, but when you get to the place where you're actually about to step into it, you kind of get triggered in a way. This is that karmic stuff that I was talking about, that karmic energy. You get triggered because you start thinking, what if I make the wrong choice? What if I mess things up? What if what I want for my life upsets a bunch of people? And you get very in your mind about it, okay? What I don't think that you're aware of is that in those situations, you call forth someone who's going to basically take control of you. And at first, it's actually very soothing and comforting for you. And I think that's why it's been very challenging for you to become aware of this cycle or to break out of it, because it's the exact thing that you asked for when you get to that place of being freaked out about, wait, I have to take full responsibility for myself. I have to, really think about all of my actions, all the decisions that I'm making. It starts to freak you out. You get in your head. You manifest someone in who comes in and says, no, don't worry about that. I'll take care of that. I'll take care of that. And at first, it seems very like, oh, this is exactly what I wanted. But then what you realize is that this person just keeps taking control. When I'm looking at this and it's like they're the most pressing thing, they're involved in your spiritual block, they're involved in your mental block. This karmic stuff, which is sitting here in most pressing, is also showing up in emotional. It's all connected. This person just feels like they start to reach into all areas of your life, and pretty soon you don't have control over anything. This person has taken full control because that's the only way that they can sit and feel safe. I'm going to use that word. I'm trying not to judge this Emperor reversed. The way that they feel safe is having full control, right? They have control issues. So any space where you have autonomy and freedom to make a decision that doesn't involve them freaks them out. And so the more that they get in, they just start to take control of everything. And then eventually what did feel like it was something that was very like soothing to you, it starts to feel completely wrong, because you are someone who wants to have autonomy. You're someone who wants to have free reign and control over yourself. So this karmic cycle is you never fully stepping into yourself and saying, I am the only person who has control over me. Because to say that also, you have to own and accept, I'm the only person responsible for the way that my life is playing out. I'm the only person responsible for consequences of the decisions that I make. And that scares you and freaks you out for some reason, okay? I want to move into the spiritual blocks here because it's kind of interesting. Again, that Emperor reversed, you have the Knight of Swords reversed with the Ten of Cups reversed. And I think one of the things that I want to talk about first is just this, we've talked about that Emperor reversed, but this Knight of Swords reversed, I want to talk to you about the energy of this because this is kind of heavy. So, but I have to say it the way that I'm feeling it, okay? But I'm just going to say up front, this is kind of heavy what I'm getting. The Knight of Swords can have energy when it's reversed about violence, or kind of like a deliberate, intentional intention to like hurt someone, cause pain in someone. And that can be physical, it can be emotional, it can be mental, but the energy of this card, it feels kind of like abusive. Okay, so with this card sitting right next to the Ten of Cups reversed, there are a couple of things I want to say about this, okay? I think there's a need for you to look at what you think is an acceptable aspect of a close relationship. And this feels like there being a disconnect. Okay, so let me show you what I'm looking at. Because if you watch my readings, I like to kind of try to explain to you guys how I'm doing the reading, because sometimes readers on YouTube, they just they say a bunch, they throw cards down, they say a bunch of stuff, and they don't really explain what they're looking at or what they're talking about. Some of it is just energetic, right? Energetic means like, what's the thing that's pulling me the most out of these cards? What is this? This card, that Knight of Swords, that's why I started with it. It feels like it's the most energetically strong, and it's that feeling of abuse or violence, deliberate harm, causing deliberate harm, okay? That is in the middle of this Emperor reversed that we've already talked about and the Ten of Cups, okay? It's sort of a bridge for me between these two things. So there's what you're dealing with right now. There's a connection about abuse, violence, intentional cruelty that's related to something with this Ten of Cups. So the Ten of Cups, when it's reversed, can represent issues with family. It can represent things like a relationship that's ended or a marriage that's coming to a close, right? It can represent just being in a space where, you know, something that you once had in terms of like home, or something that feels like, you know, a serious type of support structure, romantic or otherwise, coming to a close. So what I'm getting from this, though, is that there is a disconnect for you in understanding that perhaps maybe like, let's say that as a child, you had a very abusive relationship with a parent, okay? And so in your mind, that relationship, which was abusive, is parent-child, parent-child. So you might be aware of places where like you have problems with like people who have authority over you. Maybe you have fears around that, or you have your guard up, or you're very defensive around authority, because that's how you've translated that relationship of parent and child, right? It's someone who has authority and power and someone who doesn't, okay? But that dynamic between parent and child, whatever that was, you can manifest that same sort of behavior in a romantic relationship. You can manifest that in a friendship where there's not necessarily that same dynamic of like parent-child, authority, not authority, power, no power. It can be equal playing fields, and you can still manifest that same sort of abuse or toxicity if you haven't dealt with the fact that you need to deal with that. You need to deal with the abuse that occurred. Okay, so this spiritual block to me feels very much like a lack of awareness that you're manifesting the same patterns, the same cycles of interaction in different types of relationships in your life. And because you're not seeing the pattern, you're not able to break yourself out of it. Now, let's talk a little bit about the emotional components here. That Wheel of Fortune reverse coming out again is come out with the Queen of Wands and then the Five of Cups. And this to me is really interesting energy in terms of emotional blocks, because what I feel like you need to do here, and this is something that maybe like Aquarius, Aries, and like Sagittarius, I would say those were the only signs I would say this about. The thing that you need to do right now emotionally, the place where you need to focus on your emotions is really in embodying the Queen of Wands. So what is the Queen of Wands like? The Queen of Wands is very self-confident, is very sure of herself, very social. It's like, look at me, pay attention to me. Kind of like quick-witted, very like sassy, feisty sort of energy. Okay? And that is really where I think you need to be in terms of your emotions. You need to be connected to being in that place of feeling very bold and centered and sure of yourself. Now, I'm saying that mostly because of what I mentioned earlier, where it's like you haven't had the ability to do that. You haven't had the ability to just like, this is what I want and this is what I need, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get it, and I'm going to live the life that I want to live and have fun and focus on creating the things that I really feel like I need, right? You haven't been able to do that. The things that are really blocking you here is this Five of Cups. This almost feels like, okay, so again, we're looking at this karmic stuff, right? We already talked about it a little bit, but this is tied in, okay? What this feels like to me is when this doesn't work, when this dynamic doesn't work, meaning you feel a hesitation of stepping into yourself, it's almost like you manifest in a knight in shining armor, like a savior, right? Someone comes in and they say, don't worry about this stuff. I'll take care of it. I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. And then they just keep saying like, I got that, I got that, I got this, I got this. And it turns into, instead of supporting you, it's stripping you of all of your like freedom, right? And so then you say, wait, no, wait, you can't control this. You can't do this. You can't, like, what are you, no, this isn't working for me. And then it blows up, right? Because you're like, this is not what I want. I want to be able to stand on my own and take care of things. So you push the person away, or you kick the person out, or the person gets mad because you aren't letting them hold all the power and they leave. However it plays out, right? When that happens, you then internalize this as meaning you weren't lovable, right? Because it's almost like it almost feels like you forget in a way, like I'm where I wanted to be. I'm where I started before I got freaked out. And so when you get back into that space of like, oh crap, I don't have anyone telling me what to do or what to think. So now I need to take care of myself and do these things. It's like that cycle, just you go right back into it because you get into this energy, right? You start focusing on all of what you've lost, what you feel like you've lost, and you don't realize that you still, like, right? It's always sort of illustrated the same way, where there are 3 cups that have spilled, 2 cups that stand upright. This is losing someone trying to control you. You freak out about that. There's no one to tell me. You forget that you actually wanted to have free control over yourself because you didn't want to be controlled, right? You have to deal with your emotions in this. And the best way for you to do that is to just start doing what you want. Just do what you want. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to mess up. You're going to have things that don't happen the way that you thought they would. But the best way for you to start actually learning how to be fully in control of your life is to start taking control of it and to learn the lessons that you need to learn and to stop focusing in on, wait, there's no one telling me what to do now. Because as soon as you do that, as soon as you say, wait, where is that person who controls me? Boom, boom, boom. You pull them right in. Like you manifest them right into your world. Mental blocks, okay? Emperor reversed again. We've talked about the energy. Why is it showing up, though, in a mental block? Well, let's look at the other cards that have come out with it. 7 of Swords, reversed. And then you have the High Priestess card here, which is upright. So I'm going to actually talk about the 7 of Swords first. Because the 7 of Swords is about... like it's what I was saying. I sort of jumped ahead. It's what I was saying, right? Where it's like, when the 7 of Swords is reversed, it's about having to deal with the consequences of someone's actions, having to deal with the consequences of something that was done, something you did. But it's really about kind of the energy of being caught when it's reversed. If it's upright, it's about someone getting away with something. So when it's reversed, it's about getting caught or punishment, consequences. And I think that what's really coming through here, right, is the consequences, getting caught, getting in trouble, messing up, making mistakes, that energy, it's sitting right in between in your mind, between that Emperor reversed, that person who tells you what to do, what to think, how to feel, right? And at first that feels good and then it doesn't. You're going back and forth, you're going to this person, right? To try to solve this, like, but it's all on me and I'm responsible for all of it. And so someone else do it. Someone else take care of it. Someone else tell me what to do. Someone else tell me how to make this work. This is your block, right? You don't realize that this is where you need to be. The High Priestess upright. Trusting yourself, listening to your intuition, manifesting things. Visioning and calling forth exactly what it is that you want. This is the energy that you need to sit in. You have everything inside of you to manifest the life that you want. There are people that you can lean on. And it's interesting because for this particular period of time, I decided that the extended reading for this would be to get messages from your spirit guides, your ancestors, your higher self. Those are reliable sources for the High Priestess. The High Priestess will turn to guides and ancestors and, ask the highest form of herself. What's the best course of action? What should I do next? Give me insight, lead me, right? But don't turn to that to an external person. You're in control of that yourself. I'm super curious what will come out in the extended reading in terms of messaging around this because Again, with the Wheel of Fortune being here twice, like there's some karmic stuff going on. Okay, so last little section here we're going to look at. These are unseen factors that you might not be aware of that might be causing some problems here. We'll just start. I don't feel like these are connected necessarily. I feel like these are individual things, and each reading's been a little bit different. Sometimes it's felt like it's the 3 cards are tied together. This just feels like individual stuff. So I'm going to talk to you about it as individual things. 5 of Wands, when it's reversed, is about avoiding conflict. Whenever this card comes out, no matter what the deck, 5 of Wands, I always am given the same visual, and it's I have probably said this in Aquarius videos before, but it's someone who has like a rope or a string or like Christmas lights, and they're all jumbled up, and the person's just trying to go through and just unravel it. Okay, this is coming through to say, like, you're not seeing the full scope of this. You're focusing on that one knot, right? Trying to get that one thing out. And you're not realizing that this is all connected. All these little like tangled points and things are all connected. And if you can just make yourself aware of that, then you'll be able to unravel it much faster. Okay? Because you know how sometimes in that situation you realize, like, oh, I should have dealt with that before I did this, because that stuff won't fit through the opening that I've made. There's too much stuff to try to, so I need to go over here. If you can just step back and look at it and say, okay, I'm going to start here and then move to this, and then you'll just see it so clearly. Ace of Cups reversed. This to me just really feels like you have to accept that there will be times where things don't work the way that you wanted them to. And, don't do what I'm about to suggest to you until you're actually ready to do it. Okay? Because it's very powerful and it will change things. Okay? So don't repeat this unless you're ready for this. But if you can say to the universe, what I want is to manifest my highest good. I want to find my life's purpose. I want to be living at the highest vibration that I can possibly manage. That is my goal. I want your support in that. Spirit guides, ancestors, higher self. This is what we're aiming for. Universe, I give you full permission to take away anyone and anything that is standing in my path and blocking me from being able to go to that life, the life that I want. When you do that, things will be taken from you. People will be taken from you. Friendships will end. You'll suddenly lose your job and have to move across the country to accept another one. The universe will say, absolutely, I will get rid of everything and anyone that's blocking you, but you have to trust me. You have to be okay being disappointed, let down, having things that you thought you wanted not being given to you, because I'm trying to lead you to a very specific place, right? You have to be aware of that sometimes things are taken, people are taken. And I'm not saying like someone like falls down dead of a heart attack if you say this, right? But it's just like friendships are one of the biggest ones, right? When you start saying to the universe, like, anything or anyone that's in my path, you'll have a friendship just end. Like, someone will just ghost you, stop talking to you, won't return text, won't do anything. No matter how hard you try, they're just gone. And it's because the universe has said, this, you are not allowed in this person's life because they've asked me to get rid of you. They don't understand that you're in their path, but I do. I understand that you're blocking them, so I'm going to remove you from the situation. Last card here, Queen of Pentacles coming out reversed. This to me feels like just something that you're going to have to reconcile inside of yourself. Okay? When I talk about this energy, this might be specific to just part of you, but bear with me, okay? When I talk about this energy about like when responsibility is put on your plate and part of you is like, oh, I'm so glad to be in this space where I have full control over myself. And then you start to look at what it takes to actually like be in control of yourself, and you're like, oh, this is too much to deal with. For some of you, the biggest trigger point around that is around money. It creates a place where you almost have to be like financially dependent upon someone because you don't want to have like full responsibility for yourself financially. And it doesn't even feel like I feel some pushback on that. So I'm going to clarify. It doesn't feel like gold digger energy or like, some sort of like abusive, manipulative thing, because it's not like you're like fully 100% dependent upon another person. Okay, this feels more like when someone says, okay, well, you should be saving money, you should be investing in the stock market, you should be, putting your money into real estate, or like when you're faced with those situations, even if you have like your own money, it's like you don't trust yourself to make the decisions for what to do. And so you go to someone else. And so what happens then is, instead of you saying to the universe, here's where I want to go and here's what I want to do, and I want you to get me there in the fastest way possible, you're going to just another human, another person. Even if it's someone that you feel like has more knowledge than you, you're still handing it over to another person and saying, you tell me what to do. Even though I know I'm capable of like being guided and using my intuition and my ability to manifest and call things forth to me, I'm still gonna like block this out of my mind and default to kind of being in a place where someone else is calling the shots and making the decisions for me. And just, you have to break out of that, because that is never going to make you feel comfortable. Like if I'm thinking about what to name this video, it's kind of like, being controlled will never work for you. But you keep manifesting situations where someone's trying to control you. And the only way of breaking out of that cycle is to understand that you're calling them in. You have to change your own energy internally so that you're no longer manifesting those people. You have to break out of that cycle. So, Aquarius, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I always love reading for the air signs. As a water sign, you guys your energy feels so different to me. And so it's always fun reading for you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you're going to join me for the extended reading, then the link for that is in the description box below, so you can click through to that. I'll also put some information there about how to become a channel member, in addition to what I showed at the beginning of the video about how to sign up to be a channel member. If you don't want to watch the extended reading, if you feel like you want to reach out to me for a personal reading, because this just really hit close to home and you're like, wait, this is me, you can send me an email, keaghantarot@gmail.com, and let me know that you want a personal reading. All that information also I talked about at the beginning, if you want to go back and just find that in terms of pricing and stuff like that. So if you're going over to the extended reading with me, go ahead and click that link. If not, I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks when I do the mid-month check-ins for your sign. Bye. Hey guys, I'm jumping in here at the end of the reading just to let you know that I have joined TikTok. And so if you're interested in following me there, you can find me at Keaghan Kirk. And I would love to see you. If you are going to follow me and you're someone who's subscribed to YouTube, or you found me through YouTube, then take a moment just to leave a comment on any of the videos that I've posted on TikTok and say I'm coming from YouTube, just so I know that you're there and I can say hello.